my god, how could they nerf Omen like this? Literally unplayable if you can't one-way wall clip. The death of Omen is being greatly over-exaggerated. If you don't know what I'm talking about, in the upcoming patch 6.0, Omen is getting a nerf. He can no longer one-way inside of walls. Any wall clipping one-ways where your arrow is red and the smoke just sits inside the wall are no longer possible. However, many of the common Omen one-way spots are still possible with some slight tweaks, and they're not going to be as good all of the time, but good enough, I think, that it will still be able to provide value. It's definitely still going to see play on Ascent and Haven, I believe, and probably still Split when that returns. And I actually think Omen could definitely see some play on Lotus. So let me show you how you can still one-way. Alrighty, so first things first about this, what I think is originally an unintended feature is that you see the difference between the green arrow that's going to land on the ground, but when the arrow goes red, that means the smoke is clipping into a wall, and that means it'll sit there. Now, I'm currently on the 5.12 patch. I don't have access to the new patch, but you can see how strong this is. This Omen one-way, this makes it like impossible to push through into tree right here. And this is where Omen produces a ton of value on maps like Ascent and Haven, where these one-ways are really, really strong. Other parts of his kit are still really strong as well. Like the flash and everything on Haven and Ascent are super, super strong. Huge part of why he's picked. This A main one-way is completely unaffected because you're not clipping this one. You're actually just putting it on top of the ledge up here. As you can see, the green arrow it's not a red arrow. It's a green arrow on top of this ledge. So the green arrows are the fine ones. The red ones are the ones that will no longer be possible. But there are workarounds. So instead of being able to do something like this, a little bit finicky, and doing these mid-round is going to be really, really tough. But you're able to get this ledge right here, which means you could definitely still hold this as a defender. And tip for one-ways as well, the closer they are to your enemy and the entrance, the better they are for you. It's like angle advantage when you're peeking around corners. You want your one-ways as close to your opponents and for you to be as far away from them. You can see as an attacker running in, you can't see above this stair level. If you crouch, you can, but like by this point, if you're crouch peeking this, you're dead. Okay, so now we have this 1-4 tree.
Shadows traveling.
And as you can see, this is still definitely very usable. You can obviously do this lamp as well, and this is also very, very strong. Same thing, and you can even hold this from over this way too. So I actually think this is potentially a better smoke. Coming up and standing on this ledge makes it really, really hard for attackers coming through. Of course, the big problem here is not being able to just throw these from across the map. They are going to be now localized to where Omen is, because it's going to be really hard to find this exact lamp spot from across the map. Like even just through this wall here. If I wanted to try and find this lamp, maybe with the right... Oh, there we go. So it's going to elevate the skill ceiling for Omen to be able to come into this sort of area and find this one-way. And so if you sort of know the lineups a little bit, you're definitely going to be able to figure these things out. I think this one's actually too high. Same thing over at B main using these lamps. This is possible as well. And even B main, we have this ledge right here. These are all absolutely fine as Omen on defense. These are the main one-ways that you're using on Ascent to get these main controls. At pro level, this is still definitely going to be very viable for Omen on Ascent. Onto Haven, where the strongest one-way in Haven is still very, very doable. This still makes pushing lobby incredibly, incredibly difficult for the attackers. You can see, you can just fully see your opponents. You still do this smoke here, which makes it impossible to be able to jump out of the window without being spammed and completely blind. This is the best I could find for C long. It's okay. It's manageable. I don't think it's anything game changing. You wouldn't normally necessarily be smoking down C long. You'd often be smoking at the start of the round towards a lobby for that really strong control. And here we have on this ledge another very strong one-way in Haven, where you just get full access to anyone walking through garage doors. The attackers just see absolutely none of window. They actually get full blind from anyone trying to walk through. So this is super strong and is a green arrow. Very, very usable still. And of course, on attack for Haven,
cover going out.
being able to one-way the defuse is still very possible on every site, depending on where you've planted. You can come over here to C, and if you've planted for long, this is a complete one-way for anyone trying to defuse. Bit less common on A, but it's possible as well to be able to do this and still be able to spam the diffuser. While we're here, a couple of attack one-ways as well. This is still possible and very doable. This is a super, super strong smoke for post-plant on the... or as you're just trying to walk in as well. As an attacker, this just stops anyone trying to push through. Just don't peek this angle. This then becomes a fair fight. The smoke is even for each person. You want them coming into this area to fight this. And same thing on C. Haven's actually really great with all of these wooden beams and everything. They create a lot of great opportunities for one-ways. There's probably even going to be some other ones around. This is another defender one, but also good in post-plant, you know. Holding garage. I've done this a little. You need to do this more on this side. You can see the difference, right? The one-ways can be a little bit technical, finicky. So here's a one-way tip. You want to do it more like that. And then that's going to be a lot harder for the attackers to, or anyone to push through garage, especially if you're on platform. They have to crouch peek. And as they try and come out onto site, very, very hard to do. You can get this on the lower ledge, it looks like, as well. Yeah, okay, cool. So that's even stronger right there. I don't know, that might be like on this or something. But this is now just impossible. You can't see as well. But playing like this with this one way, oh, that's nice. So not there, but where is it?
Cover going out.
No, that's too high. But even so, this is still, you can play this as well. The third map that Omen has seen some success on in pro play is Fracture, and it's all very much based around this one-way smoke in A main. Being able to one-way this and play this control, that's too high. Don't take this as an example. But then you could also flash with this and you have your people A main. And then you really play for this really strong A main control. FBX ran an Omen Viper comp and it had heaps of success. But without this one-way, I really don't think it's as strong. This one-way is a huge part of why this worked. I think Omen, like especially in ranked, Omen can definitely still have a great amount of success in Fracture, but just due to the way that this comp was built around being able to one-way this and take a lot of A main control because of this one-way smoke, I don't think we'll see much Omen in pro play. Okay, so on split, there's this really cheeky edge outside of A main. I'm assuming this piece of geometry wouldn't have changed between the patches. I'm still on the old patch, as you can see by this box here. So I think this is definitely still a viable one-way smoke for Omen. You're also able to get this one-way for the back of screens, get it down as close to the bottom of the ledge as possible.
Cover going out.
And you're good to go. Super strong for post-plant as well.
Shadows.
One of the absolute best one-ways in the game on this ledge. You can see you've got full access to all of the attackers as they try to rush through, and the attackers can't even see you because of the elevation change. If you're ever looking for good one-way positions, wherever you are higher than your opponents and further away is always a super good indicator that it's going to be a good choice. You could also do something like this on defense, where you're able to hold this angle and watch for the push out. So as you can see, as an attacker, you can't see this little angle without crouch peeking. You can take this fight, but you have to swing all the way out here to be able to see the feet of the person here. Really nice little one-way angle. Also, if you want to hold the market push out, you can one-way this. This is super, super nice as well. This makes it impossible for them to push out through market if you're holding ropes, and it allows you to isolate this fight here as well. So Omen on split, definitely still going to be very, very good with those one-ways, you know, and we've got all of the, you know, one-ways that are still available on top of the boxes and things like that. And I don't have access to the new map Lotus, but I've stolen this still screenshot from TMV's meta prediction video that he made. Really nice video. If you want to go watch it, he sort of breaks down a bunch of different things for a few agents. But I wanted to highlight this because the one-way for Viper here, if there's any one-ways that Viper can do, that means Omen should be able to do it because there's something that the indicator can rest on. So this is a potential good one-way for Omen too. Omen's smoke is a bit smaller, so the angle might not work as well. We'll see how that goes. And then I was also watching Joel's stream the other day when he did this really nice kind of play with Omen where you can like flash and TP. So this isn't one-way specific, but I definitely think this kind of thing could make Omen very, very strong on Lotus as well, fighting for this A main control in this way. Obviously, this is just a fun game between a bunch of content creators, and he's going for a knife, and somehow he takes a while to die there. But there was some really nice Omen plays between both Joel's and Flexinja in this game. Definitely some potential for Omen on Lotus, I find. So there you have it. Omen is going to be fine. It is going to take a little bit more skill to get those one-ways off, but I think it's healthy for the game to not have one-ways just being able to be clipped into any wall at any moment. And they are now tied to the geometry of the game. And it makes the one-ways in the game consistent for all the different kinds of smokers. Some it'll be harder for, some it'll be easier, but that's one of Omen's strengths, is that he can manipulate those one-ways, but you can't just put them willy-nilly anywhere from across the map. You are going to need to know some lineups in a way. So don't worry about it. Omen is going to be fine. Take care. Have a good one. I'll see you guys tomorrow.